SEC stuff. I'm Sierra alongside Molly, and we are talking Oklahoma versus Texas, the Red River rivalry, also known as the hardest rivalry to say in college football because it's such a tongue twister. Molly, you're a huge Texas fan. How are you feeling about this one?
Um, I think I'd be feeling so much better if we hadn't just lost to Florida. I mean, we're looking at this is the 121st Red River rivalry. It's going to take place this Saturday at the Cotton Bowl. Man, what I would give to be there. Here's the deal, though. I do think this rivalry in particular is kind of more about bragging rights than anything else. The unfortunate part of this season is that Oklahoma is undefeated currently 5-0. Texas is 3-2. So favorably, I don't know because Texas has just consistently has been underperforming where I feel like OU has kind of stepped into that like they deserve to be in the SEC kind of mojo, which last year we could have said absolutely not. That would have never worked. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I can't predict who's going to win on this one just because yeah.
Yeah, and we're still not sure about the quarterback situation when it comes to Oklahoma with John Mateer. If he was the quarterback, I would be absolutely they're winning this game. Michael Hawkins Jr. still kind of concerns me a bit, lack of experience, taking care of the football and whatnot. We know he's very mobile with his legs, but Oklahoma, what impresses me so much is their defense. They have the best defense, arguably, in the country, and that is going to be tough against this Texas team who their offense hasn't been that hot as of lately. I mean, their offensive line is not great. Arch Manning, we saw last weekend against Florida, was sacked 6 times, and he's the leading rusher. So
Yeah.
they've got to fix that.
It just sucks because offensively, like these burdens for the offensive line for Texas are falling on Arch Manning. And I do think like it's hard to be a really good quarterback when you're playing every position at that point.
Mhm.
You're running for your life because your O-line can't protect you. You're rushing because you don't have any rushers on your team. And yeah, I mean, I feel like even when he threw 2 interceptions in the Florida game, I still can't get over those because yes, he threw them, but also like where are our team members? I'm
Yeah.
so confused. I'm like, where are our guys on the field? What are we doing? Like anyway, so I am a little nervous just because like you said, arguably this could be a really tough game for Texas. And I did not think I would have to say that this year. Like looking at just the rivalry from last year to this year, I'm shook at this.
Oh, yeah, because Texas beat the crap out of Oklahoma in the rivalry game last year, and it's just so much up in the air. Like, Texas doesn't have that signature win yet. Them beating Oklahoma would be that signature win. But the thing is, if Oklahoma is without John Mateer, it's like, okay, then the discourse is going to come, okay, well, Texas beat an Oklahoma team without their starting quarterback. So it's like, you can't win.
Texas has shown the ability to stifle the run and limit passing touchdowns. So I do think on the defensive side, Texas could potentially really hold the game. That would be great, is if they could hold a low scoring game for us. And I feel like that's kind of where Texas has come in clutch this season and last season is just their defense. I mean, the consistent issue that they're having is their offense. So I don't really know if that means maybe we need a new coach or offensively, I mean, maybe we need a new coordinator, maybe we need a new O line. I'm not really sure how this goes. I'm not a professional, just speaking out of opinion. But yeah, I'm not sure on one side of the ball. I have absolute faith in Texas. I do believe that defensively we can hold the game. Offensively, I have like 0.2% faith.
This Texas defense is absolutely stellar at stopping the run. They allowed Kent State last weekend only 17 rushing yards. Like, yes, that was their cupcake game, but still. And then Oklahoma did that without their star defensive tackles. So it's going to be a battle here, I think, in the trenches. That's where Texas really needs to step it up because their O line we saw against Florida was terrible. Poor Arch. Kid was running for his life.
Yeah, I feel like too Oklahoma's pass defense is kind of critical. I mean, like it's like scary. So it's possible Arch is going to be running the ball again. So and that makes me nervous as a fan because it's are we risking our quarterback's health and per injury if he can't throw the ball? And I'm a little worried about that. Like obviously he's more likely to get hurt running the ball, and I feel like he's going to be pushed to run the ball once again this game. I'm just sick of it. Like I know Arch is a great, I think, multifaceted quarterback, and I think he really is maturing and he's stepping into this role as a QB1 for Texas. I would love to see him take a more standard quarterback role where he just throws the ball. Like it would be great if he just handed it off or threw. I get that yes, he's amazing. He's multifaceted. He can run the ball. He's quite good at it. He's the leading rusher for Texas right now, which is absolutely freaking nuts. Um, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to this though because I would hope that we're able to pass the ball, but that Ohio State game, I thought, man, does Coach Steve not trust Arch to throw the ball? Like, is this like a problem? I'm now kind of starting to think that maybe Coach Steve is less trusting of our receivers more than Arch throwing. Granted, yes, Arch threw a couple interceptions. But once again, it's just like whose fault does that come down to? Is it an error on both sides or just one?
O-line. He's under stress. He's like, I don't want to get hit. Here we
Yeah.
go.
And we have receivers that just cannot fight off pass defense. So that's what I am nervous about with Oklahoma. They do have such a good pass defense. So it's going to be a critical game, and it's a big one because man, if we lose to OU,
You were to ask me before this matchup, before the season even started, I would have been like, oh, Texas, easily. Like they're ranked number one in the country. At the time they were. And now it's kind of flip flopped. I personally think Oklahoma's going to win it. But I don't think anyone expected Oklahoma to be as good as they are. Like they are undefeated and they're without their starting quarterback. Like I don't think that John Mateer is going to play. We'll see on Saturday. Last weekend against Kent State, I mean, he was dressed out, but you know how these coaches do. They put their injured star player out there on the field in warm-ups as a decoy to maybe confuse. So Texas is going to have to prepare for two different quarterbacks with Michael Hawkins Jr. and John Mateer. But it's so funny because even if Oklahoma loses this game and they have their backup quarterback playing and Michael Hawkins Jr., I think the playoff committee could give them some leeway because it's like, okay, they played against Texas, who yes, they're not ranked at the time, but they're still Texas. Like they're still a good team. They were ranked number one in the country at some point. And I feel like sometime during the season, Texas is going to get that big win. But let's say Oklahoma loses to Texas this weekend. I think the playoff committee could be like, well, they didn't have their starting quarterback and John Mateer, who's been absolutely amazing, led the SEC in passing yards. So maybe we could give them some leeway in letting them into the playoff. That's if they don't win the SEC championship or make it to the SEC championship game, because I feel like there's a lot of nuance when the playoff committee looks at these teams. Like I remember a few years ago when Florida State was left out the playoff, that was a huge deal. I'm a Gator, as you guys can see. And we were like, well, you guys didn't have your starting quarterback. And FSU fans were like, wanted to burn down the entire state of Florida, it seemed. But it was a valid point from the committee because they didn't have their starting quarterback. That is not the team that's going to lead you to the playoff. Now, that was a 4-team playoff at that time. And personally, if I think the playoff was expanded then FSU would have been led in the playoff. They won the ACC. They did all the things. They just didn't have Jordan Travis. And so if Oklahoma is without John Mateer and still makes a run, then I think we're talking different things here. But if they lose to Texas, I don't think it's the end of the world for Oklahoma.
No, and I mean they're currently undefeated, and like if you looked at Oklahoma's schedule this year, Oklahoma actually has a much more dense and intense schedule than Texas does. Texas arguably had the easiest route to a national championship. That is questionable. Like that is very questionable at this time. Like I'm nervous that we would even get into the playoffs at this point. Depending on how the next few games go, I think that is a dream far, far in the future. But I do want to talk about some actual logistics here. Texas is favored by 2.5 to 3 points in most books. I don't love that because Texas is favored in every game. So I'm like, that doesn't really tell me much.
I don't know why they're favored. Personally, I think it's maybe Vegas sees, oh, like a lot of people are going to put money on Texas to win because it's Texas. And like Texas has the most fans, I feel like. So I don't know what Vegas is thinking. That's why I don't work there.
I know the money line Texas around, negative 150, Oklahoma plus 125 in some markets. I don't know where they're getting these numbers because I'm still like, I think that they're inaccurate in my opinion. I think that we are all, even Vegas is all we're all just sitting here kind of daydreaming about what we thought Texas was going to be and what they actually are. And what they actually are right now is a team that is struggling. And
Mhm.
I say that as a true Longhorn fan. And like I said in the Florida episode, it's really hard to even watch as a fan right now. Um, I I I'm nervous to watch this game this weekend just with how upset that we've been in the past, and it's just not been good. I mean, I could see this as a really close, low scoring game just with the defense on both sides. Uh, the passing defense from Oklahoma, I think the defensive line for Texas is still a great line. Like you even said, we guarded Ohio State pretty well that first week. So yikes, I don't know, Sierra. I'm a little nervous. I won't lie.
Yeah, I would be too. As I am not a Texas or OU fan, so I will be tuned into this matchup to see like what happens because it just seems so chaotic for me. But I do feel for Texas fans here because I'm like, gosh, like there was so much hype into the season, and now for this to happen, it's just rough to watch for Texas.
I mean, this is a game that really is going to redefine both team seasons, if we're being honest. Like a Texas win gives them some momentum, some hope for the next few weeks. Maybe that SEC championship is still kind of in their sights. Maybe a playoff spot is in their sights. But if Oklahoma wins, I mean, keeping their undefeated run, that really shakes Texas's chance at getting into the playoffs, which ultimately will benefit Oklahoma. So
Right.
this is really like, man, it's really a big game for both teams, which is unfortunate. As a Texas fan, I don't want to ever think as the Red River rivalry as a big game in a way because like just I just think back to the last few years and OU just has not been that good. So I don't like thinking that this is such a big like determining factor for us for our season. But here we are. So
Well, you can watch the Red River Rivalry, Oklahoma versus Texas. That'll be on ABC this Saturday at 3:30. Be sure to watch and also leave some comments before the game, after the game, whenever, what your thoughts are on this matchup. It's rivalries always get crazy, so let us know how you feel. We'll see you next time.